everybody, I'm Nick, and welcome to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. And in case you're wondering, don't I already have a Let's Play of this from years ago? Well, I never finished that for, well, life events kinda happened and it had to get shelved. And then I ended up rebranding the channel as VBS Plays. So there's that little tidbit of personal history. I love this game too damn much to be like, well, the vanilla playthrough's not done. Let's actually finish the goddamn thing this time. So, how about we go take ourselves on a little journey, and let's get, let's get right down to it. In the vast, deep forest of Hyrule, long have I served as the guardian spirit. I am known as the Deku Tree. The children of the forest, the Kokiri, live here with me. Each Kokiri has her own guardian fairy. However, there is one boy who does not have a fairy. Navi, Navi, where art thou? Come hither. Oh, Navi the fairy, listen to my words, the words of the Deku Tree. Dost thou sense it, the climate of evil descending upon this realm? Malevolent forces even now are mustering to attack our land of Hyrule. For so long, the Kokiri Forest, the source of life, has stood as a barrier, deterring outsiders and maintaining the order of the world. But before this tremendous evil power, even my power is as nothing. It seems the time has come for the boy without a fairy to begin his journey. The youth whose destiny it is to lead Hyrule to the path of justice and truth. Navi, go now! Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly! The fate of the forest, nay, the world depends upon thee! Hello, Link! Wake up! The great Deku Tree wants to talk to you! Link, get up! Hey, come on! Can Hyrule's destiny really depend on such a lazy boy? finally woke up! I'm Navi the fairy! The Great Deku Tree asked me to be your partner from now on. Nice to meet you! The Great Deku Tree has summoned you, so let's get going right now! He makes that sound, even though he really actually has nothing on his person. Oh yeah, we can't. Oh, there we go. That adjusts the camera. Yes. See up button, adjust the camera. And yes, I will be discussing various different versions of Ocarina of Time as we go. So, whee! Yahoo! Hi, Link! Okay, that's the Z, but I wanted it to be fancy. Damn stick. Wow, a fairy! Finally, a fairy came to you, Link! Wow, that's great news! I'm so happy for you! Now you're a true Kokiri, Link. Is that right? The Great Deku Tree has summoned you? It's quite an honor to talk to the Great Deku Tree. I'll wait for you here. Get going! Go see the Great Deku Tree! Yeah, let's see what happens if we immediately go and do that, shall we? Which, by the way, he's over here. Hey you! Mr. No Fairy! What's your business with the Great Deku Tree? Without a fairy, you're not even a real man! What? You've got a fairy? Say what? The Great Deku Tree actually summoned you? What? Why would he summon you and not the Great Mido? This isn't funny. I don't believe it. You're even fully equipped yet. How do you think you're going to help the Great Deku Tree without both a sword and a shield ready? What? You're right. I don't have my equipment ready, but if you want to pass through here, you should at least equip a sword and shield. Sheesh! Asshole. Usually I do this before even talking to him, but I wanted to show that dialogue off because I wanted to be funny. Also, don't try to pick up the grass yet. You can't do it. And, well, do I immediately go into Switch emulation discussion, or at least the previous versions of it? I don't know. But at the very least, I am running this off of actual N64 hardware, using an upscaler just because I happen to have it. Well, actually, I mainly bought it for this and my Dreamcast, but, well, them's the breaks. Anywho, you'll want to be acquiring yourself some rupees, which thankfully there are a bunch around. In case you're like, what the hell's a rupee? Do you like money? It's basically money. And if you're familiar with randomizers of any sort, these are probably like the first 4 chests you go to check if you haven't screwed everything up. And normally there's like 2 blues, a 1, which is a green, and there's a recovery heart in here, for whatever reason. Yeah, I think this is like the only game that actually stuffs recovery hearts in small chests. To which I have to say, why? Why would you do this? Monsters? Anywho, our first main goal, money-wise, is to get to 40 rupees. It'll all make sense here in just a moment. And I don't want to target that. I wanted a backflip over that, nice and clean. Oh, I hate to make cuts already, but my guts are not being funny with me right now. Okay, and we back. And something to note is, Link here can crawl through stuff. Make a note of this for now, mostly in the fact that you're not gonna really be seeing this too much throughout the rest of the game. Also, really get familiar with the Z button, or whatever button in whatever system you have tied to moving the camera around. It's not only gonna be your lock-on, but also it's a very, very nice thing to have. I'll go over more about locking on as soon as we open the chest. Here's our Kokiri Sword. We have an equipment subscreen in the pause menu. And we're just gonna borrow it for a while. Borrow in air quotes. That's right, I gotta use the Z button. And then we put it in our hands. And then we can, you know, chop grass. That had nothing because we're already full on hearts. Sometimes it'll drop a rupee. Right now, though, I don't want to take a boulder in the face. That would be very, very rude, thank you very much. And now, how would you go about acquiring a shield? And I should probably tell you that, a bunch of the Kokiri folk around here are mainly for tutorializing stuff. Yeah, and you can also get 5 rupees by stabbing that. It's rather neat. Anyway, as I was saying, you get tutorialized by talking to all the townsfolk and reading the signs. Since I already pretty much know most of what I need to know, and I'm hoping just by doing the actions I can show off what you can do. Oh yeah, you can also hold that, do a spin attack. But you can also do a quick spin on the control stick. I'm super bad at it, though. Also, this girl is, like, telling you how Z targeting works. As you do that, speak with her. Easy. There's a hidden 5 back here. Don't forget it. Anywho, let's go buy that shield, shall we? Yeah, got ourselves a shield. And you equip it to your R button. Unfortunately, these sort of menus don't have a fast forward. Also, funny thing, the frame rate increases when you pause. Because you notice how the heart's slow here? And it's much faster here. Isn't that neat? Alright, now that we got our equipment all set out to go, let's go tell this asshole off. Well, you know, swimming would be interesting, wouldn't it? If you want to see the Great Deku Tree, you should at least equip a sword and shield. Huh? What's that? Oh, you have a Deku shield. And what's that? Is that the Kokiri Sword? Good grief! Well, even with all that stuff, a wimp is still a wimp, huh? I, the great Mido, will never accept you as one of us. Shoot! How'd you get to be the favorite of Saria and the Great Deku Tree, huh? Yeah, piss off. I do have another little tidbit I do want to tell about Link, but I'll explain after we talk to the Great Deku Tree. By the way, here are Deku sticks. We are going to need some amount of these. But also, if you like speedrunning, you want these for glitches, because the Deku stick actually does more damage than your Kokiri Sword. I'll just put it at that for now. Great Deku Tree, I'm back! Oh, Navi, thou hast returned. Link, welcome. Listen carefully to what I, the Deku Tree, am about to tell thee. Thy slumber deep these past moons must have been restless and full of nightmares. As the servants of evil gain strength, a vile climate pervades the land and causes nightmares to those sensitive to it. Verily, thou hast felt it. Link, the time has come to test thy courage. I have been cursed. I need you to break the curse with your wisdom and courage. Dost thou have courage enough to undertake this task? Then enter, brave Link, and thou too, Navi. Navi the fairy, thou must aid Link. And Link, when Navi speaks, you see up to listen well to her words of wisdom. Oh boy! Does everybody like first dungeon time? Because let's go into first dungeon time, shall we? Welcome to the inside of the Deku tree. Now, as I was kind of going on a bit earlier, and Mido being like, he'll never accept us as a Kokiri, well, that's because Link is not a Kokiri at all. I believe there's actually some manga that actually goes over Link's past. I believe if I recall the details correctly, his mother was severely wounded and had to leave him under the care of the great Deku tree. And that's why Link is even here in the first place. At least I believe that's if I recall correctly. I even was busy talking, I glossed over the Deku nuts. You throw these, you stun things for a moment. You can't stun everything, but there is actually a fair amount of things you can actually stun. Also, if it looks like I'm fumbling over the controls for a bit, it's because I'm using one of these Retrobit controllers because, oh boy, are my original N64 controllers starting to wear out. And by the way, here's a map. Here's a map. Maps are wonderful, yet I can speed through that dialogue. Look at this wall. The vines growing on it give it a rough surface. Maybe you could climb it, Link. That's a bad idea right now when there's enemies on it and you can do nothing about it. And Navi here now is going to tell us how to open a door. And also tell us about the action icon, that's the A button. Yeah, that's context sensitive. That's all this really talks about. Hey look, a thing. It's a Deku scrub. Ow, ow, ow! Forgive me, master! If I give you a clue, will you let me go? When you jump off a high cliff, if you hold the control stick forward, you'll roll on the ground when you land and won't get hurt from the fall. I can't guarantee it'll work, though, if the cliff is really, really high. Well, try it if you're feeling bold. Wahaha! Let's keep going forward, shall we? A conspicuous floating platform. Whatever shall happen if I stand on it? Yeah, that. Let's get our ability to shoot stuff. Yeah, slingshot time. You set it to a button, press it to take it out, press it to shoot. You can also lock onto things and shoot that way. Well, you still have to hit the button, but it takes all the trouble out of aiming. And I am going to need this big time. Oh, by the way, don't forget, there's a chest over here. You might want to go ahead and grab it, and the lighting is not exactly kind here. This game can get kind of dark, and I'm not talking content-wise, I'm talking lighting. Look! Something's hanging up there. It looks like an old ladder. Yeah, Navi will also have things to talk about if you lock onto them. Mostly objects and enemies. Also, I should get this done and over with now because Link is gonna go, whee! Seeds! They're your bullets. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say about that. Oh, I did not mean to hit that button. Oops. Well, it's not really that big a deal. I can always get more seeds. However, at this point, since we can now lock onto this enemy, how about we go over Skulltula. Be careful not to touch it. Yeah, they obviously hurt on contact. You can take out these first two, no problem. Ooh, money. The last one, though, you're gonna have to aim. At least look up so you can get a lock on it. Hey, I want those. You can oftentimes... What? I've never done this before. What I was going to comment on is, maybe it's time I go over all the different versions of Ocarina of Time you can play. So, the version I'm playing right now is this isn't the first version of the N64 version. This is the 1.1 cartridge. It's gray. The 1.0 versions of Ocarina of Time are in a gold cartridge. And those have the, well, sayonara money, the least amount of censorship. There was at least a little bit of changes done to this, but any censorship changes should not apply. It's not until you get to the 1.2 release where you actually start seeing some changes. And I'll point those out as we get there. Oh, also, here's the actual Skulltula. The soft body on the underside is how you knock it out. And by knock out, I mean plunge that sword directly into the back. If you notice that I use jump attacks, they do double damage. They're rather nice. And this is on a timer. It's okay. We can't lock onto this, but this is a gold Skulltula. You knock these out, and you get yourself a token. Let's collect these. I'm gonna actually go over and collect them all, even though the reward for doing so is atrociously bad. Anyway, back to versions. So the 1.2 release is mainly what you'll be seeing from here on forward, except a few more changes got added, starting with, I think, the GameCube version that we got as a part of a couple different, you can actually play Ocarina of Time with 2 different discs on the GameCube. There's the Master System, the Master Quest version. I've been watching too much Sega stuff as of late. And then there's another one that compiles Zelda 1 and 2 on the NES, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. This isn't the best way to play Majora's Mask, I'll tell you this right now. And then there's the Wii Virtual Console version, which basically takes the censorship changes that were made to the GameCube version and added it to the N64 ROM of that one. That is a good version to play. And then there is the Wii U Virtual Console version. It's fine, but also your window to purchase that version is running out real quick. Real quick. Also, frame rate drop. And then lastly, there's the Nintendo Switch Online version. And up until the 2.0 release of the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, I would not have recommended that version to play at all. Because there was a lot of visual bugs, and it also had the most input lag from what I recall. I'm not always super good with all the details. But yeah, but now that things have been fixed, visually at least, and also input lag is going down a bit, I can actually say it's probably worth playing that if you have one of those Switch N64 controllers. I'll go over the 3DS version a bit more. Actually, no, I'll talk about it right now real quick. 3DS version is would probably be my most recommended version to play outside of the original N64 hardware itself. If nothing else, because it not only looks the prettiest, but it also has a better frame rate. It actually bumps the frame rate up from 20 to 30. It's actually really nice for that reason. Oh, by the way, there's another gold Skulltula over here. So what you can do is you shoot the thing. Shooting it is easy. And then you're like, how do I get there? Just a normal jump. It's not that hard. Not that hard, people. Although also, your window of getting the 3DS version is closing soon if you want the digital version off the eShop. Physical cartridges still exist, but I have no guarantee that they will stick around at a low enough price in the future. Also, if you notice, we've burnt the webs. Let that be a hint. Because if you notice here, the ground is as such. So let's take a stick. We'll burn it. And then let's get over to this and burn it down. Sadly, your stick can burn away in the middle of a cutscene. It's kind of bad. I haven't really explaining all too much of the dungeon, but it's for the most part just a tutorial. So, let that be what it is. But I think I'm going to cut this first episode off here for today. So, on today's episode of Ocarina of Time, we rolled out of bed, grabbed our gear, and we're going into a tree. And next time, we're gonna finish that, shall we? So with that, I'm Nick, and I'll see you guys next time.